We got ourselves Athaman with a team red. Oh, I always like this Mog. Always love the Samurai Pandera Mog, man. Always been a fan of it personally. We also got Dalaran in the back as another Fury Warrior. We got ourselves Crazy Kitty, Fire Mage. We got ourselves Darkos playing either Marksman or Beastmaster. I want to say Beast Mastery. And we got ourselves Remuru playing also more of that Fury Warrior. Wow, look at that Samurai appeal that these two get going on. At least it's, I would like to call it Samurai. I mean, it's Katana. It's Katana. Come on. We also got on Team Blue Candy trying out the Frost Mage. We also got Dancer Lowe's playing more of that Sub Fortune as a Monk disconnected last game. Another Windwalker for Judah Master and Tasty on that Elemental Shaboy. Wait, that's his belly. That's his belly. Oh, what a champ, dude. I love it. I like tattoos. I like that tattoos. They're gonna do a lot more of those in the future. Looks like it's gonna be not Kenny. It's gonna be Crazy Kitty versus Dancer Lols. For those shadow dances versus a fire mage. Crazy Kitty, all they need to do is get himself a setup. A couple greater pyroblasts. Dancer Lols, though, needs to go for as much damage as humanly possible onto the mage every single time he gets to. Double shadow step, vanish, shadow meld to actually have just about everything he needs in order to deal with a mage. Taking his time with a sweet opener, landing a sap. What is he gonna do next? Cheap shot? Shadow strike? What are we gonna see? Probably cheap shots, because you don't want to get hit with the breath, right? Triple sap, Mark for Death Kidney, into a trinket, breath for Crazy Kitty. Trying to see if you can get a trinket out of Dancer Lows in the opener. Scourge to follow. Why would you use Scourge, though? Why would you not use Greater Pyro? It's going to be blind onto Crazy Kitty. Has no answer for this one anymore. That's about all he's got. That's it. There's no trinket. That's it. You're Dunsky. I think unless you ice block, you just put yourself in a bad situation. Dancelot's going for a full reset. You know, I told you guys, maybe the next duel will be 5 minutes. This Dancelot's guy is trying to make sure he's using every viable second. Does get himself a Nightblade to follow with a cheap shot. Trying to go for a bunch of eviscerates. Back-to-back to Crazy Kitty. Triple cheap shot coming out. Actually, double cheap shot before an Iceberg coming out. Crazy Kitty did not want to go down. Did not want to trigger that cauterize. Should have probably let it happen, though. And just trying to see if he can catch up to Dancelot's. Got a couple fire blasts in him. Mastery is burning him a little bit. Does get him with a flame struck around the corner. Could actually get quite offensive. Could try to see if he could push up. Maybe he's just waiting for the breath next. Because I would probably try to see if he can go for a Nova maybe even. No? Blink Nova? I would have done that. Maybe then a Polymorph right after. Going to be a reopener by Dancer Lows. Getting an Nightblade. Michio coming down for Crazy Kitty. Going for Combustion. Dancer Lows is going to for Cloak of Shadows. Nothing can touch him right now. None of these casts. That's going to be Killer Shot onto Crazy Kitty. Has a Cauterize available, but Dancer Lows, all he needs to do is just cheap shot through it. Get at least one Eviscerate, and Crazy Kitty does go down. Try to see if he can survive. Doing as much damage. Doing that Cauterize. Scorch coming out, but I think he's out of options. Barely surviving, but down he goes right after. And next up is going to be Athaman, trying not to let this rogue reset. Does go for adaptation. So that's going to be an instantaneous trinket for Athaman. Dancelos goes for advantage to reset. Still has some dots rolling on him though. Athaman, if he was mounted, could have maybe caught up to the guy. But he's going to pick up eyes immediately. Dancelos trying to cross the middle. Not behind the pillar. Getting hit with a judgment to follow. Not going to be able to get a clean opener. Mark for us waiting for Athaman. But actually goes for a Hodges. He shot himself to Atha. Trinket coming out for Dancelos. Trying to min-max damage into the Paladin. Getting quite a bit of eviscerate damage, but getting hit with the slows right after with a sprint to get rid of those slows. Trying to interrupt Athaman on a cast. Not gonna happen. Athaman is gonna get himself a bit of a catch up with those heals every time he gets himself a flash of light with a handle frame that does increase his movement speed. Evasion gonna force that out of Dancer. So that's quite a big defensive when dealing with the Paladin. He hasn't even popped wings or anything. Dancer Lows does not have a trinket anymore, so he's gonna land a kidney shot onto Atha. It's gonna be his opportunity to do some damage. Does have at least one charge of Shadow Dance. Marford with Eviscerate, dropping Atha to about 75% on-demand burst for Sub-Rogue with a blind to follow. Does a blind break to adaptation? It doesn't break to adaptation. I always wondered, like, if you get hit with a, let's say, CC, and adaptation is like a second away from coming off a cooldown, does it insta-break? But it doesn't, so that was a full reset for Dancer Low. Still does not have a trinket. If Athaman has any kind of setup when it comes to his resources, he still has a potential to just get a big old one-shot. Hopefully Dancer has a defensive or something. That's going to be a bop out of Athaman. Decide not to wait through all those stuns. Decide to get some damage himself instead. That's a bold move for Atha. Might need a hand of freedom here. Does get a slow onto Dancer. He does have a sprint rail for him. And that's going to be a bit of a shadowy duel for Dancer. Does get to escape. That is allowed. Unless the chat decides it's not allowed. Hodge on the Dancer. Wings for Athel. Try to see if he can get himself a big old wombo combo onto Dancer lows. Back-to-back Templars get him to about half-ish health. I don't think he had himself a perfect setup for damage just yet. It's going to be turning around damage by Dancer back onto Athel with a Cloak of Shadows at the very last second. Athel still trying to get the Templars into Dancer, trying to stick him in back-to-back. This is going to be Shadow Meld for a second for Dancer as he tries to get himself a bit of a reset. Slowdown coming out for Athel. Vanish to follow for Dancer. It looks like it's going to be a quick getaway for the Rogue 4 minutes in. Athelman not wasting any time, picking up the eyes immediately. Sees where Dancer's at. If he can land on just a corner hit of him, or maybe hit him through the wall, that works too, maybe. Is that what he's trying to do? I think that's exactly what he did. He actually got to hit him through the wall, just auto-attacked and past the wall. Line of sight does not matter. Hodge coming out onto Dancer with wings to follow for Athel, but Dancer trinket of the Hodge so early. Athelman could even save those wings. Still trying to min-max the damage onto Dancer. He gets a kidney shot and is trying to get away from Athel, but that adaptation keeps him trucking. Evasion available for Dancer right now. Trying to build some comp points into Athel. Could be another kidney shot follow-up for Dancer. If he has any charges of Shadow Dance, he might be good. But he's having a struggle resetting onto Athel. That's exactly what he wants. He just wants to reset just to get himself some comp points, get himself an opener, get all the damage increase from the opener. Kidney shot onto Athel. And Dancer might be able to go for a bit of damage, but looks like he's just completely running out of juice. He gets him to about 70% actually. Nice crit with an Eviscerate at the end with a blind to follow just to catch himself full reset. Finally gets it 5 minutes in. And Dancer and Athel are still trucking back and forth, boys. Get a shot into Athel. Fortunately, I have that adaptation. It looks like Dancer just trying to get away. Does get a sprint rolling before the slows come out. But Athel is still able to catch up to Dancer. No trinket available. If Athel can get quite a bit of resources available, wings coming out. Huge damage to the Dancer. Getting himself double Templar's Verdict. That's going to be an insane amount of damage. And as the finishers come in for Athelman, he does see a cloak out of Dancer. Cheap shot to follow as Dancer's trying to turn this damage around to Athel. Bubble coming out of Athel. He's just getting impatient with this rogue. Shadow Step with a duel. Shadowy duel. Is Athelman going to be able to find him right after? He does get himself a Shadow Meld to follow. Oh no, Athel! This rogue has enough health to survive Athel's burst every time. That's crazy. But also Athel is actually getting just so frustrated with this rogue. He even bubbled it just to see if he can score a kill. Getting a shot by Dancer, and is going to have to go through Athelman's health. He got himself some on-demand damage here and there, but he needs to keep Athelman's health low, if anything. Athel using Crucible to heal himself. Evasion available for Dancer. Hodge is going to be trinketed immediately. Dancer has opportunity to maybe go for some damage back to Athel sustain, but actually going to go for a vanish completely. Like Dancer, I know you're playing sub. The sub all you really got is burst, but you got to get some CC going. With Athelman having that adaptation, just really cannot even send him into a full sap sit down. So all Dancer got going on for him right now are bursts. A little bit of burst where you can get Athel to about 70-ish%, maybe 50% at most, but he's having a very hard time finishing him off. He's having an easy time getting away from Athel, but a hard time finishing him off. Now that's going to be Dancer finally with Shadow Blades trying to go for the most amount of damage to Athel. This is your perfect opportunity. You're all about burst. You might as well make this burst. Oh, come on. You kept me in suspense this whole time. Got Shadow. Some rogues. All right, Dancer. Okay. I'm watching closely. You got it. Have to get himself a Crucible in between of that burst. No kidney shot coming out for Dancer though. Actually getting hit with a slow one onto Athel. Athel doing his double Crucible onto Dancer. Might be able to maybe get a Hodge. Hodge coming out. Does Athel have the wings here? Dancer is quite low on health. One Templars into Wake, into another Templars. Could be the end right here. Does have a trigger for it and does take him out. Athel just had to wait until the 8-minute mark. Get him low enough and go for Templar. Wake of Ashes, Templar, and adaptation came in right in time for that kidney shot. And down goes Dancer. Fortin is going to be up next. As a Monkus versus Athel, giving each other a bow. Athel does have bubble bop. That duel lasted so long, he has bubble back up almost in a minute. Shield of Enders back up and everything. Does have coming out for Athel as he goes for a little bit of wings though. Does he go for any kind of heals against Fortune? He does not. Hydra onto Fortune is actually going to instant trinket out of it. and bail out of there, getting right back in. And that's going to be Karma onto Atho. Try to see if he can force a bop out of Atho immediately. Actually getting kind of locked out with the ring, but Atho using Hand of Freedom to stay mobile. Trying to use Crucibles to self-heal, and Fortune is out of a massive defensive that he needs. No trinket available either. If Athoman can set something up amazing onto Fortune, this might be the best time to do it. Wall coming up for Fortune. Does he go maybe for a big touch of death? Atho getting himself a Shield of Vengeance and is going to be able to recover quite a bit. Fortune actually put himself out in the open for the next minute. He's actually quite in a deadly position. If Atho gets any kind of damage into Fortune to get him to, at least to not be at 100% health, and then set up another kill with a Hodge, he just might be able to do it. Fortune, though, is very aggressive. He knows how to back out when things get bad, so he might be able to leverage that to continue this duel going. Atho trying to draw him in. Atho does not want to play around the pillar. He doesn't want to play around any of that. Trying to see if he can build a little bit of holy power from the guy. This is going to get him slow. Fortune get himself quite a bit of Vilifies back to back. It's going to be immediate disarm onto Atho. Cannot go for a lot of damage. Crucibles do come out onto Fortune. Hodge coming out. Does he get the full setup with Wings? He could go for a big setup. Templars, Wake of Ashes, huge Templars right after. Incap for a second, but Athoman has not stood that Incap long into Crucible onto Fortune. Does he get himself another trinket up and running to increase his health? Try to go for heals immediately. 13 seconds left on a Karma. Athoman did not have quite enough damage to end it right there. If he was playing Blood of the Enemy build, I think he definitely would have, but with a more sustained base build, he can't do it. Fortune actually making a mistake of using a leg sweep onto Athom, which means that Fortune, every time he has a leg sweep, Atho is always going to have adaptation for it. Fortune cannot lock down Atho at all. You want to use that through Incap and then lock him down. That's going to be touch of death and everything. Athoman is actually going to bubble the touch of death out of Karma into a stun into Fortune. He does shrink it out of it. But Athoman is continuing to truck along. Fortune popping a wall to try to see if he can stay a bit more defensive. Athoman still has the Shield of Vengeance if things ever go bad. Does get a Wake of Ashes. Fortune using Incap defensively. Still, next time he has leg sweep, he's definitely not going to have it. Atho still has a pony up. Does Fortune have himself a port? That's going to be a ring by Fortune. Athoman might be able to wait it out. Does remount up here while Wings are still rolling for a second. And Fortune is at about half-ish health. Has himself one port available. Does get a root into Atho. No Hand of Freedom available for that one. Unfortunately, is looking to reset. He needs to wait for the human racial available. Human racial is gonna, and normal trinket is gonna be about a minute 30. So minute 30 is what Fortune has left. Maybe he has 30 seconds to follow. He is sitting at almost half health. If Athoman can catch him somehow here, this could be the end. Fist of Fury flying. Does Atho have Wings here to turn this around? Does get an execution sentence. Hodge to follow. Fortune didn't predict this ahead of time. No Wings available for Atho, but he's still trying to make whatever he can. Double Templar Verdict coming out. Fortune actually increasing his own health just by a little bit. Atho getting hit with a disarm to follow. It does use Crucible as a bit of a self-heal. Unfortunately, bailing out as soon as he sees Athoman is walking away. Karma available in 22 seconds. Again, Incap comes out, but Incap actually does not break that adaptation. So next time Fortune has a go, leg sweep, Athoman is always going to have a way out of it. 12 minutes in, neither of these two are going to give each other a break. Free Judgment coming out for Athom. Fortune, though, zoning him out with Ring, and both of these two juggernauts get to heal themselves up to full. Fortune definitely has a trinket this time. Karma available. Maybe even Touch of Death. Might be able to combo that with a wall. Athoman does have Bop, so he will be able to remove both of those. Minute 50 left on the bubble, so you actually might be able to rotate that later. Hodge onto Fortune, doesn't trinket it. Athoman is just trying to get him super low right now. Trinket coming up for Fortune late, gonna be immediate leg sweep. That's gonna be Karma, and Athoman is actually gonna bop himself out of that Karma, turning around into Fortune. He's actually just completely out of options. Does try to get himself on his side. Crucible around the corner, does get himself a wall, as well as Diffuse Magic for a second. Looking to catch himself a couple of fights. Athoman try to catch him. It's going to be Ring of Peace on one corner. Fortune is trying to hug this corner as best as he can with this ring. Athoman is just mounting up ahead of time. Fortune, he doesn't have a trinket anymore. Atho getting hit with an Incap for a second. If Atho has a way to close the gap right now, he might stand a chance getting slow into Fortune. Does get himself execution sentence, Judgment to follow, and Fortune is going to bail out of there, and a massive hammer flies at him. Doesn't have Crucible. Fortune uses the line of sight as best as possible. Athoman still closing in. If he can just reach him closer, Athoman, actually Fortune popping a health trinket just to give him more health. Atho does he have Wings? He does have Wings here with a big Tempest Verdict. Wake of Ashes made by Tempest Verdict. Does get hit with the disarm. Does not have adaptation to be able to get him out of that. Fortune actually porting way out there. Athoman already mounted up and ready to go. Trying to finish off. Get a few finishing touches on Fortune. And he does end up taking him out at 13 minutes and 52% dampening. Athoman making a comeback and a nice polite bow to Fortune. Who's up next? We got Candy. We got Judo. We got Tasty. One of you guys got to go. Who's next? Hope you guys did your roles. Somebody got to come out and see if we can stop Atho. We've literally had only 1, 2, 3 people go down this duel. 14 minutes in. We got plenty of people on Team Red, a good chunk of people on Team Blue. Somebody's got to go next, and it looks like it's going to be Tasty. Should have a much easier time with Atha, man, but that double Crucible for Atha is going to be quite huge. Adaptation is going to be quite good to verse against a Tasty. Lightning Lasso is going to break every other time unless he lands a Hex before it, and then he'll be able to get it every single time. But for Atha, it's quite huge. Tasty does have the advantage of constant slows, knockback, as well as pets, and grounding totem against Atha. So that's quite a huge utility of abilities he could work for. That's going to be Hodge immediately on Tasty, knocking Atha back. Atha did not go for big damage here either. No wings or anything. Tasty, actually, I was thinking for a second he used his Racial, but that wasn't it. Hex coming out is going to drop down. No, actually, Hex getting interrupted, looks like, by Atha. And so adaptation is not going to get forced out. Trying to get that adaptation out. It actually... I think the first stun by the pet, that primal stun by the pet, actually dropped down that adaptation. I think that's what Tasty was trying to go for. He was trying to use the Hex for adaptation. But now he GR'd Atha, so you can go for Lightning Lasso immediately. And now he hexed him, so you can't hex him again. If Athaman has a Hand of Freedom here, Shield of Vengeance coming out, as Tasty swapping out to the DPS pad, bursting through that Shield of Vengeance fairly quickly. Huge Earth Shock onto Atha. Is going to go for a bubble right here, while Tasty goes in for a wall as well. Atha goes in for a bit of a self-heal. Could catch up to Tasty right now. Tasty will not have a trinket for the time being. He will actually eat a full stun, and there's nothing he can do about it. Crucible coming out on Tasty, forcing out one of his procs. Stormkeeper for Tasty. He's just trying to get some zaps onto Athaman around the corner. Does get a Hodge around this corner here. Flashlight coming out. Doesn't need to get interrupted here. Still in a very bad spot. Needs to go for as many heals as possible. Tasty still out of a stun. Does not have a way to deal with this Hodge. It's going to be huge for him. That's going to be Light Lasso. Athaman trickles out of it with adaptation. Barely any health, and Tasty does end up taking him out. If only Athaman went for a Hodge. Tasty with his Dwarven Racial actually locks himself out for 30 seconds. After using his own Racial. Won't be able to use a trinket for quite a bit. And Darkos is up next as a Marksman Hunter with a rapid fire to follow onto Tasty. Does get knocked back for a second. That's going to be quite a free damage for Darkos either way. Tasty trying to see if he can get himself a little bit of line of sight away from the Marksman Hunter. The Charge Trap is going to try to slow him down, but not doing too much. Darkos needs to get some line of sight of Tasty. Lightning Lasso. Trinket coming out for Darkos though. He's changing the Crucibles back at Tasty. He's going to go for a bit of a heal right now. That's going to be rapid fire to follow. Hex getting interrupted. Locked down on Nature. That's going to be another aim shot onto Tasty actually. Oh my god, Healing Surge is coming out. And Darkos, does he have enough to end Tasty right now? Gets himself with an arcane shot at the end. That was a nice use of True Shot Aura. Get a couple of those aim shots while Tasty's locked out on Nature and get him down. Candy's up next as a Frost Mage versus Darkos, who is playing that Marksman Hunter. I think he's trying to maybe go for a bit of a camo if possible. Candy might just need to chase for the guy and find him. We'll see what kind of honor talents Darkos uses. Does land himself a camo. No pet for this one. And that's going to be a bit of a scatter shot onto Candy. Does have a double tap available. Actually, the pet is making a comeback. Rapid fire onto Candy. Doing quite a bit number of damage. That's going to be immediate turtle shell as soon as he's getting surrounded by the ice. Orb of Ice. Is that what you call it? We don't see Frost Mages ever. I'm so sorry. I forgot. Ray of Frost coming out on Darkness. Let's go for a bit of a feign death. Barely surviving. Crucible taking down on him. Barely any health left. And Candy looking to get himself just a bit of extra shatters. Few ice lances. And down goes Darkos. Tried to make Marksman Hunter work. Took down Tasty side. Gives him a bit of credit. Dalaran is up next as a Fury Warrior. Candy looking to get him rooted. Bladestorm coming out for Bella. That's going to be immediate Iceblock for Candy. Has two of those, so you might as well leverage. He doesn't have the healing that Arcane Mage or Frost or Fire Mages have with Cauterize or any of the traits. So you might as well utilize the best possible. Trying to land a Polymorph into Dalaran is going to plink away with the Polymorph going to be reflected, but Dalaran actually looking to get an execute. Double Polymorph onto Candy right now, actually. That one reflect got two Polymorphs back to back. Candy barely any health. Trying to land yet another Polymorph. Does maybe go for an Invis away from Dalaran. Blinking away for a second. Barely any health. Needs to get the hell out of the dodge. Needs to get out of that situation. Barely a shield holding up. 80% dampening. Those shields are not going to do anything for you. Literally, if you just sneeze. Dalaran, if you just sneeze on Candy, he's down for the count. Does catch himself in Viz. If you just go and hug one of the corners and go for a bit of a whirlwind, there's no way the guy escapes out of here, right? It's looking for him. Tried to slow him down as best as possible. Burning through all his rage. Does not get him though. Candy escapes out of there scot-free for just a second. Goes for food immediately. Dalaran though, still mounted up, chasing after him. Candy mounting up to at least stay ahead of the guy. Does he have Stormbolt? If he has Stormbolt, like that's it. Candy might have a trinket available, but If you have Stormbolt, I think that's it. Using Crucible as a self-heal at 84% dampening, not gonna do anything for you. Leap into Blade Storm on top of Kenny, probably Reflective Fall, dust up a Stormbolt. Kenny, Ice Block the second one. That's his last Ice Block available. He's basically just out in the open. Does get a freeze into Dalaran for just a second. Refreezing him. Maybe a Polymorph. Actually landing the Polymorph. That's about all he's got. Kenny's just... He's just out of options right now, man. Trying to repolymorph him while trying to get him... Ooh, does burn a charge from Dalaran, though. With that repolymorph. He does burn a charge out of him. That's going to be all the repolymorphs in the world. Does have Reflect. Orb comes down. And try to get a bit of Shadow into Dalaran. Quite a bit of damage from Kenny, though. Not the most, but quite a bit. Dalaran turning onto the pet to gain any bit of heals. Kenny still has himself Ice Veins rolling. Stormbolt to follow. Does he have a trinket out of it? Does have Dalaran with a bit of slows. Fury to follow. Doesn't have a way out of it. Does get him frozen for a second. Does he go for a Blade Storm, maybe? Blizzard around the corner for Kenny, just in case Dalaran walks out in that direction. Oh my goodness. And Kenny does get to remount up at least, so he's staying mobile as best possible. Next Stormbolt might be the end of it. Trying to blink away from that charge. That's going to be a Blaze Storm to follow. Trying to resummon the pet. Actually, the pet is dead. Kenny extending his health just a little bit with a trinket. Frostbolts to try to come out just to slow down Dalaran with a Ray of Frost. That's going to be Reflect for Dalaran with a bit of a commanding shout. Stormbolt onto Kenny. Trying to get an Execute in there. Almost landing that Execute. Slow down onto Kenny. Throw weapon is all he's got. Kenny does not have a pet to work with. Evan Bolt is going to be full hero for Dalaran. Trying to see if he can shatter onto him into an Execute right afterwards. Dalaran taking him out and go for a little... Go for a little bit of that BM as Judo Master looking to take him out immediately. 94% dampening. Rimuru, you're the last guy left in Team Red. Rimuru, I feel like this duel will time out by the time you walk up to the guy and bow to him. So I feel like at this point you just need to charge at him, force Karma, force everything, and then knock him down. That's... it's Judo Master. We'll see how that works out. Rimuru versus Judo Master. Are those tattoos? Or is that just... No, the top part is like tattoos. Like the top part of his chest piece. Like the flames. But then the rest of it is actually the skin. That's going to be Fist of Fury coming down onto Rimuru. Touches it to follow. As Judo is just not messing around. He just wants to end Rimuru in this single opener. Doesn't want to let him give an opportunity to play. Still continuing to hammer damage into him. Rimuru dropping down huge with a touch of death. And down it goes Rimuru. Rimuru. Man. Rimuru!